A little earlier, Stephen Kinnock, the Labour MP who's campaigning for a deal, came into the studio hot foot from the Eurostar after meeting Michel Barnier this morning in Brussels. I started by asking him what his impression was about whether a deal could still be done.
I got a feeling that there's a growing concern about a catastrophic no-deal crash-out. That's clearly in nobody's interests. Also an understanding, I think, that getting a deal over the line before an eventual general election would be in the interests of political parties in this country, and that's certainly the point that my colleague Caroline Flint and I made. And a growing recognition as well that the Prime Minister has three choices. He can either break the law by not seeking an extension, or perhaps he has to resign, or he can do a deal and get that deal over the line. So there is, for all of those reasons, there's growing, ramping up pressure, political pressure for a deal to be done. So Caroline and I left Brussels today feeling relatively cautiously optimistic.
Now, we've heard also the UK government sent these so-called non-papers to the Commission today, apparently setting out how you could regulate standards on the island of Ireland, but sort of separating things up a bit between different aspects of what was in the backstop. I mean, does that sort of approach of breaking it down stand a chance of success so close to the end of October, when the withdrawal agreement itself, 585 pages, took 18 months to negotiate?
We know that the European Union initially offered a Northern Ireland-only backstop, and then, of course, Arlene Foster and the DUP intervened, and it became a UK-wide backstop. But the original offer has always been on the table, and that was made clear again today to us by Michel Barnier. And I think that we have to be ready on the Labour side to support that if necessary. If we're talking about the backstop, my view is that that is much more of an issue for, of course, the DUP and, of course, the Conservative Party. I've never seen the backstop as being a big sticking point for Labour colleagues. The sticking point for us has been about the future relationship, not wanting to give carte blanche to any Conservative Prime Minister to do anything with workers' rights, consumer rights, environmental standards, dynamic alignment. That package of concessions and commitments that came after the cross-party talks that finished in May actually our negotiating team did a great job. And I think we can call that a Labour deal. That is a Labour package on the future relationship. Now, if the Prime Minister wants to maximise his support amongst Labour MPs, he needs to put a deal on the table that is as close as possible to those concessions in from the cross-party talks, and combine it with an offer on the backstop. What needs to happen now is people need to be ready to compromise, because we're not going to get a deal unless all sides are ready to compromise. It's time to rediscover the lost art of compromise on this side of the Channel and also in Brussels.
Stephen Kinnock, thank you very much.
Thank you.